This is the DJ Henderson podcast. Today's guest is simply put, a bucket. After becoming Hillsborough County's leading scorer for men and women's basketball at Freedom High School, she went on to have a sensational college career and is now a professional hooper. Taylor Emery, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for giving me some of your time. It's good to have you here. Talk to me about how you grew up and all of that kind of stuff.
I grew up in Illinois. My dad was a Navy guy, and he got out the Navy probably when I was about 2 or 3. So I was born in Washington State on the West Coast. We moved to Illinois. I grew up in Illinois until my 8th grade year, and then I moved down to Florida. I got a ball put in my hands when I was 5 years old. So I've always been playing basketball or playing soccer since I was 5. And ever since then, it kind of just grew. As I grew, the sport grew with me. So it's definitely fun to experience all that.
What was it like when you first moved from Illinois to Florida?
It was a big difference. I came down, everybody was making fun of my accent because like in Chicago, you drag your A's and you talk fast and everything like that. And down here, everything's more, lackadaisical, it's chill, everything like that. So it was definitely cool to have that different, just a different environment, be around different people.
For sure. After you were introduced to basketball, when did you know that it was something that you really enjoyed and that it was something that you were going to try to take far?
Oh, I knew that when I first put a ball in my hands. Like ever since I was little, even before I actually played on an official team, I always played basketball with my brother. And my dad, he played basketball in college and the Navy, so he was always a big basketball person. So he didn't want to push it on us, but obviously it's his love for the game. We're going to have that love too. So it was something I always wanted to do since I was little, and then be a veterinarian. And I actually got accepted to vet school at Virginia Tech, so I'll do that after my basketball career.
That's big time. For somebody that's never seen you play, talk about your game, what you like to do, how you like to play.
So people would describe my game. Look, I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm not going to boost myself, nothing like that, whatever. But people describe my game as more of like an offensive force. I can score on all 3 levels. I can shoot the 3, drive the bucket, and be able to shoot the short game. But I'm really known for my pull-up. It's something that my dad designed for me when I was younger, and it's something that a lot of women don't have. It's a guide pull-up. You jump as high as you can. You release at your top point of your shot. That's what a lot of guys shoot, and a lot of women can't shoot that. So that definitely helps me stand out with my game and helps me stand out with the media and with the public because they don't see something like that with women.
What players did you watch growing up when you were starting to play basketball, and who do you watch now still?
Oh, man, growing up, I watched Kobe Bryant, R.I.P. He was really the main one I watched. I learned a lot of different things from him and just his mentality on the way he played. Also, I wasn't too old when I saw Derrick Rose, and I'm a big fan of Derrick Rose. Our games are really similar, actually. A lot of people compare our games together. The only difference is obviously he's a man and he can dunk and everything like that. But we both kind of have the same kind of game. We're very explosive. We can score on all 3 levels, more like a scoring point than a pass first point. So those were really the 2 main players I watched. Now I just like to watch basketball and learn from it. I'll watch anybody, and I just like to analyze the game and learn new moves from different players.
Talk about how important it is just to be a student of the game, period. Like, what is watching and learning, what does it add to your game? Like, what does it do for you?
Oh, it's so important. If you want to be better as a player, you have to study the game. You have to learn the game. That includes watching games on TV, watching college games, not just NBA and WNBA games, watching those college games too, because college games are more on the fundamental side and the WNBA, NBA is more on the ISO, like go score kind of side. And there's a little bit less defense depending on what game you're watching versus in college it's a lot more structured and more fundamental to watch. But honestly, I'll watch any basketball, and the main thing is just to watch your own film too. Because when you watch your own film, you start to learn about your tendencies and what you do well. And then you watch other people and you figure out, okay, this will be implemented well in my game because I know my tendencies. So it's just all about trying to come full circle and get your game to its peak level.
I totally agree. I think a lot of people only, especially basketball, football, any sports, most people only watch the professional level. And I feel like coming up, if you're a player you're aspiring to get to that level or get to a higher level, I think you should watch mostly college. Like, it's okay to watch the pro level, of course, but when you watch college is what you're planning to be playing at, what you're going to be playing against, what is like, it's more realistic versus NBA, WNBA. It's like it's mostly entertainment. Basically, it's like one-on-one, and it's not the same in college. If you just watch the NBA and expect basketball to be like that when you're coming up, it's not going to be like that because it's not.
It's definitely different. But you definitely, like, when you're in college, you got to watch the pros, because if you plan on going pro, you got to watch those players, see how they play, know what to expect, and then you also have to be ready to play on that type of game structure.
For sure. Talk about getting the freedom when you came from Illinois. What was it like when you first got there?
That was so long ago.
So long ago.
Well, I came down to Florida when I was in middle school still. So I actually went to middle school first here in Florida. I went for 1 year, and then I went to Freedom. I don't really remember much about going to Freedom. That was almost 8 years ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah. But I do remember the first day I set foot, I had looked at the court and volleyball was on the court, and that's all I remember, honestly. I don't remember feeling nothing or anything like that, but I remember that I was going to go there. But other than that, sorry, it's been a long time.
A lot of buckets since then.
Something like that.
Well, for sure, you went to Freedom High School, of course. I went to Wharton High School. Our schools are rivals, in the city. So we never really been a fan of Freedom at all. But when I got to Wharton, I think you were a senior. You were a senior for sure, because I only saw you play like 3 times. But our girls weren't that good, and you guys had built something serious over there. I remember specifically one time we were playing you guys, and you had, I want to say 53, 50, it was something like that. I'm just sitting there in the stands. Me and my team, we were like, bro, like, this is unreal. Talk about like where that mentality, where does that even come from? Not too many people are scoring 50 points, men, women, anybody. Yeah. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So coming from my junior year into my senior year, I really locked down. That was the first year I actually didn't play AAU, because I was like, I want to get ready. I want to get ready for my next season and everything like that. So I ran 5 miles like 3-4 times a week. In the Florida heat in the middle of the day. I did 3 or 4 days. I would go to practice. I would do my own practice. I would run. I would lift. It was like an intense, high intensity summer of me just learning how to work hard, of me dropping weight and getting like a killer instinct, because when you sit there and you run 5 miles, that's all mental, honestly. So you come out and you're dropping 50 because you have that stamina, but also you have that mental toughness to just keep going. But yeah, that was a crazy season. I definitely, I had committed right before then, so I didn't have a lot of pressure coming into that season. So I was just able to play, and it was definitely one of my most fun seasons, close to it. And I actually hold the Hillsborough County scoring record for that year, and then for just the 4 years in general. So men and women. So I hope someone catches me though, because we need another really, really good kid coming out of Hillsborough County. So.
For sure. I mean, leading scorer in Hillsborough County doesn't surprise me, honestly. I watched with my own eyes a lot of buckets, so I mean, doesn't surprise me at all. When did you start to see your stock rise as far as
like, for college?
Yeah, as far as college and your recruiting.
Really AAU. I mean, at this level, because there's so many high school teams, the only way you really get seen is through AAU, and then they'll come to your high school. So, my stock was going up since my freshman year of college, and freshman year, my stock had been going up since my freshman year of high school, and it kept going up from there. And then coming for my junior year, right before my senior year, I did panic a little bit because everyone around me was kind of committing. And so I felt like I had to commit early. Obviously, I transferred from Tulane, so I kind of wish I would have waited a little bit longer, but it was definitely a good experience to go there for that 1 year.
Going to Tulane, like, what was it like when you just first touched down on campus and you were just by yourself? You realized that it's like, this is college. Like,
I was really excited when I went to Tulane. It was in New Orleans, so you can't really go wrong with New Orleans. Yeah, I wasn't 21, so I didn't have that much fun, but it was definitely fun just to see a new city, see a new culture. I've never really been a person who gets really that homesick, honestly, because of like the family I come from, military, divorced parents, everything like that. You're kind of already moving around a lot. So I was never really that homesick, but going to Tulane was it was a good experience. I met a lot of really nice people, obviously the culture. I love New Orleans. I probably wouldn't live there just because of the way I like to live. It wasn't really what I wanted to like settle down in, but it's definitely fun to go, visit and stuff like that.
I've never been to New Orleans, but as all the
Oh,
stuff that I see, like, it seems crazy. I mean, I know I want to go for sure.
yeah.
I always see and hear about Mardi Gras and stuff like that. My
Pretty gross.
family, like a lot of my family's from a city called Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, yeah.
And I think Mardi Gras actually originated in Mobile, and then it kind of moved to New Orleans, and then it just became
Really?
a bigger thing because obviously New Orleans is a big city. But
Yeah.
I've been to Mardi Gras before there, so I know I kind of have like some kind of idea what
Yeah.
New Orleans probably would be like. But
Nothing like in New Orleans. So that Mardi Gras is crazy.
yeah, I gotta go check that out sometime soon. After you went to Tulane, you went to a JUCO for 1 year, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about your JUCO experience and how that went.
So I transferred, like you said, I transferred from Tulane to junior college. I didn't want to sit out a year, which is why I went JUCO. I had a couple of D1 offers, but I was like, I'd rather just go play, not have to sit out, and just, get my game back, because when I was at Tulane, I felt like I lost a little bit because I didn't get to play the way I wanted to play. So I went JUCO. They were the reigning national champions the year before. And so this year coming in, we also won the national championship. So I got a ring to my name. I do. Yes. So, yeah, so that was a really good experience. Definitely different. JUCO is definitely different than the university level. It's just a good experience. That's really all I can say about it. I don't want to, get deep into it or anything like that, because I will in my Docu Series. But yeah, so it was a good experience, and I was just happy that I was able to get a ring, and I still keep in contact with some of them now.
Talk to me about your Docu Series and what people should expect to see in your Docu Series coming out, and what's it called?
My Docu Series is called Hidden Gem: Pressure Makes Diamonds. It's really just kind of telling my story about my college experience, my high school experience, moving on through there. The fact that I wasn't drafted, but a lot of the people around me were drafted, that I had played every day, kind of thing. I proved myself in college. I didn't get to where I felt like I should have gotten. So it's really just about a story of an underdog, and I'm telling my story, but then I'm also showing my day-to-day life and showing what it's like to be a professional athlete, because I do play overseas. And I'm also working my way back to the league. So it's like you get an inside look of my journey back to the league while also taking care of business overseas. So it'll be really cool. It's definitely something that a lot of younger athletes should definitely tune into, so that they can kind of learn what to expect when they're older, and just the process of getting to the next level.
I definitely think everybody out there should tune into that, because just looking from right now, it seems like it's already going to be an interesting story. You've proven you're a winner for sure. You won in high school, you got a ring in college. Now you're moving on to playing pro overseas and the WNBA. So I think people should definitely tune into that. How does being an underdog carry over? Like, how does that mindset carry over to the court? Like, talk to me about the chip that you have on your shoulder when you play and what you're out there trying to prove and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm out there trying to prove all the time. And it's not just when you step out on the court, like in front of fans. It's when you're alone in the gym late at night, you're waking up at 6 a.m. to go get these workouts in, you're meeting up with people to help them, to ask them to help you get better. You're asking random friends, hey, can we play one-on-one? Because I need to learn how to do this, learn how to do that. So, it's definitely a lifestyle, being an underdog and having that mindset, because like it sucks sometimes. It really does, because you feel like people aren't giving you your props. People aren't like expecting you to be something. So the fact that every day you're like, no, I'm going to be there. Like I'm going to do it, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong. That's a great feeling when you do it. So I definitely have my moments when I have proved people wrong, and every day I'm doing it more, and not just to prove everybody else wrong, but just to kind of be ready for myself and do it for me.
I think that's something that everybody can take from hearing you speak. Being an underdog or being overlooked or underrated, whatever the case may be, is always going to be tough. It's never going to be easy.
Yeah.
If it was easy, then you wouldn't be the underdog. So I think that's like really important. And also, like you said, just it's a lifestyle and staying dedicated, even though you're not getting the recognition you feel you deserve, or that you actually might deserve. Sometimes you might not be ready for you might not be ready for what you're expecting. Like you might not be ready to play where you think you should be playing, and you just have to grind it out and keep working hard. And then, like you said, like you're seeing the benefits of all that hard work and being consistently consistent. So I think you just got to stay consistent and work hard, work smart, and you could easily just, well, not easily, but you can achieve what you want to achieve if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to me about playing pro ball and what it was like going from the college game to the pro game.
So the game from the college to pros is, it's different. Like I said, it's definitely, that's why you need to watch the pro game as you're coming out of college so you can adjust quicker. It's definitely more on the solo side versus the team side. Obviously, you still play with the team, you still play as a team and everything like that. But it's definitely, you have to be able to break someone down one-on-one and stuff like that, especially if you're a guard. You have to be able to do that. Everything's not just the system and the fundamental stuff as like in college. In the pros, it's more so like, you got to be able to handle your own and do your own thing. And that was my biggest adjustment coming from Virginia Tech, just being able to come out and be able to break someone down by myself and go score by myself. As a scorer, like you have to have that in your game regardless. So it's definitely something I had to learn because at Virginia Tech, it was less that, and it was more team fundamental ball, swing the ball, next pass, extra pass, 3 on the pass and stuff like that. So that's mainly the big difference. But other than that, especially if you're going to play overseas, it's also the mental adjustment, just being able to be over there by yourself and knowing that your family is really far from you, but also you've got that time difference. So there's a lot of times when I was in Poland, I was waiting for America to wake up, about a 6-hour difference. And you can't do that going overseas. You have to stay where you're at in the present and just have fun while you're there. Because if you're too busy thinking about the U.S., you're not going to be as successful as you should be.
For sure. You've been playing basketball and working hard since you were a kid, but when did becoming a pro, when did it seem attainable? Like when did you feel like it was really real, like you could really do it?
Honestly, I've always been that kind of kid where if I put my mind to something, I'm going to get it. So I was a 5-year-old saying I'm going to be a pro basketball player. And there were times when I was 8 or 9, and I'd still say I'm going to be a professional basketball player. And people, like adults, would be like, you need to have a different plan. Like there's no way you could be a professional. Like just random adults would tell me stuff like that. Cause I'm a kid. So they're like, no, like you need to be more realistic, stuff like that. So, I've always had the mentality, I'm going to go pro. I'm going to play pro because I want to, and I'm going to do it because I work hard enough for it. So I never really had a time where I was like, oh crap, like I really am going to go pro. I was always like, no, I'm going to do it and I'm going to achieve it and I'm going to show people how good I am.
For sure. What was the process like when you you're from your last college game to becoming a pro? What are some of the steps in between finishing college, your college career, and becoming a pro?
Honestly, it wasn't much different, that process, because you don't know what to expect as a pro. You just have to go in there and do it. It's just working out the same way you were before, getting that work in, getting those shots up, playing, lifting, and being able to finish my academic career. When I went to Minnesota training camp, I actually hadn't even graduated college yet. So I was still in classes, but my professors were really lenient on helping me be able to leave a little bit early and do the rest of my stuff online. So, the main thing is just sticking to it and not thinking that you finally made it because you still got a lot of work to do.
You kind of just touched on it a little, but what keeps you motivated to just keep going even after you've seen so much success, high school, college, now pro? What drives you to just keep going?
I just want to be the best. So I feel like I haven't gotten there yet. Obviously, part of being the best is being in the league too. And I'm not in the league right now. I had that little mishap last year and I ended up getting released. So my thing is just to keep working because I have goals to achieve and I want to prove everybody wrong, like I said. So that's one of the things that keep me going, that keep me hungry, that I just want to sit there and get to where I need to get and get to where I want to get. And even when I do that, I want to be the best. So that's going to keep me working too.
For sure. What would be your number one advice to somebody out there that's trying to make it?
Trying to make it to college or trying to make it pro?
Trying to make it to college, pro, just somebody that's trying to be successful, period.
Stick with it because there's going to be days where you want to quit, especially on the college level. There are days where you are tried. There are days where you want to quit because, a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes that a lot of people don't get to see. But it's definitely playing that mental game because at the end of the day, you want to achieve something for yourself. and it has nothing to do with those people that you're around right now. You know, they're not going to pay your bills when you're older, and you need to figure out how you can help yourself succeed. Like at the end of the day, it's a you game. That's what it is. That's what life is. And it's just sticking with it, because, you know, you're going to hate yourself when you get older and you didn't stick with it. So that's definitely something to just keep moving forward on, and don't have any regrets.
For sure. You touched on it earlier, but you got accepted to vet school. First,
Yes.
talk to me about in college, in high school, college, how important is staying on top of your grades and getting good grades?
Oh, it's very important. You know, I've always been big on grades and big into keeping a good GPA and everything like that. But school has always came pretty easy to me also. So like when I was in high school, I had a 5.2 GPA. I took a lot of AP classes, everything like that. So coming into college, it wasn't that hard of an adjustment to me. It was more information versus high school. Like you actually had to go to class in college most times, versus in high school, like a lot of kids, you know, they don't need to pay attention. They don't need to do this, need to do that. And it's still easier for them, depending on what district you're in and what school you're in and stuff like that. But you know, it's definitely a big thing, because especially in women's basketball, you need to have a backup, because we don't last. Obviously the sport doesn't last forever, but also we don't make money like the men do. So even if when everything's done and you're done playing, you don't have like millions on millions on millions in the bank like the men do, you know? So you have to have a backup. You have to have something you can fall back on, and that's your education, and that's where you want to take your life.
I kind of like, we're pretty similar, honestly. In high school, I think I graduated. When I finished high school, I had like a 5.5 or 6, and I took a good amount of AP classes and stuff like that. So when I got to college, I had already had a couple college credits. So like my college academic stuff it was pretty easy, honestly. I was good at school in high school. Same here. Just got to stay on top of it, of course. But I think
you got good grades on the AP test.
Yeah,
you got
sure.
like a 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cap. I failed on my AP Psych 1. I got like a 2. Good, but I mean, I got a couple credits for college, so that's all I cared about. I got to college and I was ahead of like a lot of my classmates. They were taking like prereq, not even prereq classes, like basically high school prep classes, and I was taking like English 2 and or statistics, stuff like that. Last year I was like a second team JUCO All-American, academic, like all academic. So I take my grades serious too, you know.
That's good, yeah.
I think what you said is important for sure. Not like you said it in regards to women basketball players, but I think in general it's important that you do have a backup and you do stay on top of your grades, because my mom, my dad, people in general, they always told me like grades were important, and so like people can't take away your mind. If you got it up top, you got it all there. You're mentally sharp, you got your education, and that's something that'll always be with you. So I definitely think that's important, like you said.
Yeah, and in life, you always want to have a backup plan, no matter what.
How did you decide that you wanted to be a vet? Like, how did that spark your interest?
I've just always loved animals my whole life. So, I mean, when I was 5, look, it all happened when I was 5. I said, look, I want to be a professional basketball player and I want to be a veterinarian. And they kept telling me I can't be both. And I was like, look, I'm going to make it happen. So, you know, after I'm done with my basketball career, I'll go ahead and go to vet school and get that done. But I've just always had a love for animals, and I've always had a dog by my side too. So that's always been something that I've had a passion for.
All right. Well, now we're going to do the speed round just to kind of start to wrap things up.
All right.
What's your number one thing to do in your free time?
I like to edit videos and make videos for my Docu Series, but I also like to read and go longboarding and train my dog and stuff like that.
Go check out the Docu Series for sure.
Yes, go check that out. Subscribe to my YouTube, Taylor Emery.
Yes, sir. Who are your top 5 music artists?
Oh, like that's tough.
Your favorite artist to listen to?
That's tough. I don't know. I listen to a lot of different artists. But I'll definitely say, look, BET, I don't know when this is coming out compared to the BET Awards, but they did nominate J. Cole for one of the top lyricists, and he should definitely win, because I think he's a phenomenal lyricist. So he's definitely, if not my favorite artist. But I can't give you a top 5. He's my favorite. That's it.
Do you like more recent J. Cole or the old J. Cole better? I'm a big J. Cole fan. I like the new J. Cole. It's not like I'm like, oh, he fell off or anything like that. But I love the old J. Cole. It felt like he was like he was the underdog, like how we were just talking about, like he was still coming up. He wasn't established yet. He was after everybody, like he was hungry.
Yeah.
That's the J. Cole that I really love.
Yeah, his old music is really something you can vibe better to than what he put out now. I mean, I like his music now, like you said, but it's definitely like, it's not like his old stuff.
For sure. People that sleep on J. Cole hate
They
it.
still sleeping? What you
People,
mean? Wake them up.
people hate on J. Cole. They always be like, oh, he be on that.
No way. J. Cole, you can't be mad at him. That kid's a killer.
He's a killer for sure. You could put that in there.
Okay.
What did you get your final degree in?
I got my degree in English, but I did my prerequisites to get into vet school. So I applied to vet school with an English degree, and I got accepted with that.
Who's been the biggest influence in your life this far? Or some of the biggest influences?
That's a tough one. I would just have to say really just my family in general. They push me in different directions, whether that means I'm learning something that I shouldn't do or learning something that I should do, or just pushing me to be more passionate in what I do. They're definitely my backbone and my rock. So, and then my girlfriend too. She's been there for me for 3 years now, going on 4. So she's definitely helped me through a lot of tough times.
What do you want to improve in your game the most at this point?
A lot. I still got a lot to improve because, like I said, I want to be the best. So I'm always working. I'm always trying to get better. Main thing is just making sure I stick with it and having that chip on my shoulder, because when I play with that chip on my shoulder, I'm a whole different Taylor. For
sure. What's the craziest stat line that you can remember having from high school or college? I got to hear it. I told the people about the 53-point game, but I didn't mention, I'm pretty sure you had like a quadruple double or like a crazy triple double that game too, like with steals, assists, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not kidding. I probably, if there's film out there, there was a lot of buckets I was giving out in the Wharton gym. So
honestly, I don't remember like a full stat line from high school. I just remember that like I averaged 36.5 points per game. So like I was having like 50-point games, 50. I think my highest was like 56 in high school or something like that. And then half the time we're blowing people out, so I didn't really play the fourth quarter, or didn't play like half the fourth quarter. But as far as college, I think my highest scoring game was 34 or 36, and then like 8 rebounds and like 6 assists or something like that.
That's people don't understand. It's hard to score 5 points in a college game or 10 points in a college game. So to go for 30 plus at any time, that means you definitely like that. If you could meet and spend a day with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Kobe Bryant, most definitely. He's really just the one I wanted to meet, to be honest with you. My goal was to make it into the league, right? And then from there, meet him. And then all my plans kind of went to crap. So.
R.I.P. Kobe, man. Kobe's been. I'll let you get away with giving us one, but Kobe has been for sure the number one answer so far. I think basketball players, people in general, like definitely took a lot of us. Like it hurt a lot of people when Kobe passed away.
Yeah, I mean, I got him tatted. I got his. I don't know if you see it, but I got his snake and his logo, and then Mamba mentality up here.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, Taylor Emery, that's about it for the show. I just want to say thank you again for being a part of this. I definitely am a fan of your game for sure. If you couldn't tell, looking for big things. Tell everybody about your Docu Series again and where they can find you on Instagram, Twitter, all social media that you want to share, anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was definitely fun to be here and talk to you, and just have that conversation with you and be able to talk about the future and help kids be able to learn about basketball and what to expect and stuff like that. It's definitely fun. As far as my docu-series, it is called Hidden Gem, Pressure Makes Diamonds. It's basically a background story of who I am, what I do, how I do it. It's about being a pro overseas while being a pro here in the U.S., and my journey to the pros and what it was like not getting drafted and being an underdog and stuff stuff like that. So it's definitely something you should tune into, whether you're older, younger, whatever, just to kind of learn the story, learn the backstory about everything, and then also just to, just be inspired of an underdog. So you can find that Tay Emery YouTube. You could also find it on my Instagram at TayEmery01. And that's all my socials, honestly.
If you love basketball and you want to see definitely a good story, the behind the scenes, what it takes to be great, be an elite player, I think definitely should tune in to her Docu Series. So make sure you go check that out. I'm going to have the link in the description, all that kind of stuff. Y'all go check that out, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you.
All right.